Hi, everyone. Welcome to another video. My name is Chris Cavatura. I'm here with Dr. Sharif Ibrahim. Now, we just put out last week's video was really good, talking about weight loss. So we're going to go down that path for a little bit. So today's video is really a foundational video to help build upon over the next few videos that we'll be sending out. Weight loss, big topic. There's a lot of things that we want to talk about, but in particular, we want to talk about the difference between burning fat or losing muscle. Before we turned on the recording, we were discussing how things were back in the old days, back at the turn of the last century, way back 100 years ago, how people would eat. And it was very different how their bodies would actually work. So let's take some time and lay that foundation about weight management back before, say, fast food and all this sugar craze came along.
Thank you very much indeed, Chris. This is a very important point here, because if we are going to go back to the cavemen, I don't think the cavemen have got any weight problems at that time. This is because they have got the genes which were programmed to deal with scarcity more than with plenty. Because at that time, there is scarcity of food, and now we have got plenty of food, and we are using the same gene to manage this situation. In the old days, people agitated between feast and famine. So during the summertime, they have got plenty of food, they eat a lot, and they store many calories as fat. They use these during the time of famine, usually the winter time, and that actually keep everything in balance. Why that is happening so smoothly is because they used to have what is known as metabolic flexibility. You can switch between different types of fuel. We have got sugar is the primary body fuel, and fat is the second fuel. If you have got good metabolic flexibility, you switch between burning sugar to burning fat easily. That means if you have got adequate amount of sugar, you burn sugar, and when your sugar stores goes too low, then you switch spontaneously to burn fat. So this is the normal way. Unfortunately, we lost this flexibility in modern life. Because we have lost this flexibility, we became a sugar burner. We depend 100% on burning sugar, while all the excess of carbs and sugar is going to be stored as fat. So we are building up big stores of fat, and we are not using them. And instead of burning our big load of fat, we go and reload more sugar when our sugar stores goes too low.
So that's the history. And we have a number of videos where we're talking about flexibility versus sensitivity and all these different components. And so that gives you the history. Now, in modern day, people are dieting or trying to get involved with weight management. And some people feel really good. They go days eating well and they lose weight. They lose 3 or 4 pounds and they're so excited. And then they hit that plateau. And now this is what we really want to start discussing, is understanding what weight you're actually losing. Are you burning fat or are you losing muscle mass? Because there are a lot of situations where people will starve themselves. They'll just not eat, thinking that they're doing the best thing for their body. But as Sharif will explain, the body at that point is not going to burn the fat because it wants you to survive. It's actually going to start eating up the muscle because it wants you to be around. And that goes back to the cavemen, where the cavemen would pack in that fat for when there was famine. And so now what we need to do is we need to come around to all this and talk about how do we know which one we're burning?
Yeah, I think this is really very important point actually you have mentioned, is if you are following your weight management program. I hope most of our viewers have seen the other video, which is the how to lose weight without dieting, which has categorized people with weight problems into 3 categories. One category, they are overeater. The second category, people have got a genuine metabolism problem. And the third category, these are people who have real medical conditions. Whatever program which you are following, then you would like to know whether you are doing well or not. So I think the very important issues here, most of my patients I see in clinic, they depend on the scale, the weighing scale. But is the weighing scale is really going to help them? I don't think so, because the weighing scale is going to weigh all of your body. And if you can think about your body is about 70% water. And you have got something like 20% of protein and muscles, and only 10% of fat. This is a normal body I'm talking about. When you start your weight loss program, then which one are you losing? Because if you're losing muscles, that is not really going to be helpful, because your muscles are your acids. And if you start losing muscles, then your body function will decline and you will not be able to function in the long term. So this is really very important to keep watching and make sure that you are losing fat.
Well, that's interesting, Sharif, because this week I got on the scale on Monday morning. I'm like, whoa, because I had a bit of an excessive weekend. And I did precisely what we always talk about. And I woke up the next morning and almost 3 pounds I went down. And now you and I both know that was water. But to someone who doesn't know, they'll think they just melted off fat right off their body. And that's not the case. It was water. And all I had to do was go back and drink some more water and replenish my body. We can really be misled by that scale. You're so right.
Yes, I think that's really a very important issue here, because here you can lose water for any reason. You can lose water for dieting, or you can lose water for other reasons. You can become dehydrated, for example, if you have taken, say, for example, too much alcohol or too much caffeine or whatever, and you passed a lot of water out your body, your weight is going to come down, definitely. But in the weight management context, you can lose water when you start burning your sugar store, known as glycogen. And these glycogen are stored either in the liver or in muscle. The one in the liver, the glycogen storage in the liver, is the one which the body uses as, it's like a strategic store of energy. And then the time when you are not eating, then your body will break this glycogen, that's a process called glycogenolysis, into glucose. And so this glucose is going to be very important for the function of the brain, because your brain depends very much on glucose. And during the time when you are not eating, particularly at night, most people, they don't eat at night, and the early morning, they haven't got enough sugar in the blood, and so the body will start breaking down this glycogen. And if you continue a little bit longer not eating, then you are going to consume quite a big quantity of glycogen. Actually, you've got something like 100 or 90 grams of glycogen in the liver. And each gram of glycogen has got something like 3 grams of water combined to it. So if you are going to lose 1 gram of glycogen, you're going to lose 3 grams of water. So this is quite a lot of water when you burn your glycogen or sugar stores. And this is what is the problem that happened to many people. They feel that, I just overnight, my weight loss, my diet is working because I have lost a lot of weight. But they haven't lost anything. They have just lost water. And then they plateau for the rest of the program afterwards.
Yeah, that's true. So now, what are the signs that we can look for? How can we become more aware of what we're burning? What are the indications that we can look for?
I think this is really a very important question, because the most important thing, people feel really very tired, exhausted. They run out of steam, particularly when you are working on the gym, for example. You find yourself, your performance has gone down quite significantly. And this is a sign that you have lost quite a significant amount of glycogen, or you're running a low amount of glycogen. And at that stage, you are not able to burn fat because your insulin is relatively slightly a little bit up. And just give it, like, say, a little bit more time. Do not really rush for more food. Just give it a little bit more time, and hopefully your body will lower insulin further, because insulin has got the key of the fat store. So when your insulin level goes low, then that can open the fat store, and then you can start burning fat from that point onwards.
So, Sharif, how can we determine what's going on? What are some other techniques that people could use to help monitor their fat loss?
I think the body fat percentage is a little bit more reliable because here you are going to monitor what you would like to lose. This is the area which you would like to focus on. There are so many ways actually to monitor or to measure the body fat percentage. We are familiar with the skin fold thickness, which is measured using a caliper. That is a little bit more primitive, but it is really a very good way actually of assessing your body fat percentage.
Yeah, I remember having one of those, and you just essentially squeeze. You can't see that far down, but you squeeze your fat, and then you take the caliper, and you can really get an indication. And another new method is, I know some of the scales out there will actually use electronics.
You're talking about the bioelectric impedance. This is really a very good way of doing that because that is looking into classifying actually the body into two components. One component include bone and fat. They have got high resistance to passage of electricity. And then you have got the rest of the body is like a little normal or low resistance to passage of electric current. But a better way of doing that, and you can see it in so many of the health center, they have got this machine which is going to check everything, and it will tell you the different components of your body. But if you would like to have something really very reliable, then you can go for the DEXA scan. The DEXA scan, that is the one which is used for looking into the bone density. The people who are suspected to have osteoporosis, they do this DEXA scan to look into their bone density. But the same scan can be used to look into the different components of the body, including fat. The only downside of that is a little bit more expensive. It costs about £100.
But that being said, Sharif, it's definitely something that you could go maybe once every 6 months just to get an accurate reading on your progression. I could see that as a worthwhile expense. A night out for dinner is going to cost you £100 anyway. So invest in yourself 2-3 times a year and find a facility that can do that for you.
Yeah, I think that's quite easy. Yeah. Also, you can apply something even more easier. When you burn fat, you go into a state which is known as ketosis. And what does that mean? You release fat from the storage area, and this fat has to be carried back to the liver. And the liver work on them and convert them into ketone bodies. And you redistribute these ketone bodies to all body cells to fuel them. And then the body cells will use ketone bodies to make energy, just instead of sugar. How do you know that you have entered the state of ketosis? And you can use simple things. Like, for example, you can check ketones in your urine. You can use, say, sticks, or you can do the blood test. You need to make like a finger prick. You say a drop of blood, and then you put it on the keto meter, and it gives you the reading of your ketone in your blood, which is the most accurate one. You can also check it in your breath. And actually, this is really very interesting here because do you know the nail polish remover is acetone? And actually, this is the smell or the scent which you get when your body starts producing ketone bodies. You get this scent in your breath.
Okay, Sharif, so this gives us a really good understanding of the different ways that we can track how we are burning fat. Is there anything else you want to add?
Yes, in the next few videos, we are going to talk about what sort of food is going to help you to burn fat. Eat more fat, you burn more fat, and we are going to explain this. What type of exercise is going to help you to burn more fat, the fat burning zone.
We're going to talk about the fat transporter. If it's not there, nothing's going to happen. So there's a lot of great information that's coming. Sharif, as always, thanks for your contribution. Thanks to everyone for watching this video, and we look forward to seeing you on the next one. Take care. Sharif and I appreciate you liking this video, and more importantly, remember to subscribe to this channel. There's a lot of content that we're going to be creating, and we don't want you to miss a single second of it.